Hi, this is Ruth Theresa'a with One Inspiring Woman, and today I'm going to be giving you some survival hints, suggestions, and ideas for Mercury in retrograde. And these are some ones that you're going to really want to write down. So one of the things is there's no need to get too panicked about Mercury going into retrograde. So many people just go into almost like mass hysteria over it, and it's not that important. It's important to know when the dates are. And so what I often suggest people is put the dates on your calendar. So let me give you the dates. Put these on your calendar. August 3rd, 2023, Mercury goes into pre-shadow energy. So it's going to feel like it's going to slow down. So everything's going to start getting a little wonky a little bit. From August 23rd through September 15th, that is full retrograde. If you're going to feel anything, that's when you're going to feel it. That's going to be the strongest time. And then after September 15th until September 30th, it's going to be in post-shadow energy, kind of speeding back up. So a couple of things to kind of keep in mind when you are trying to get through Mercury in retrograde. I will tell you kind of my number one thing is do not ever start anything brand new in Mercury in retrograde. That's like number one, like the basics. Do not start anything new. Do not start anything new. Retrograde, retro means kind of going back. So what we want to do is go back and kind of what are the things that we didn't finish, we haven't quite done. Let's wrap it all up. So these are the great things to do. There's a project I haven't done, so that's going to be great. These are things that I need to be doing. That's a great thing to do. So anytime that you are working ahead, you are way better off if you're kind of finishing things off instead of it. So now, before Mercury goes into retrograde, get prepared. Don't wait. So often what I do is, in the prepared part is things that I know I'm going to have to be doing over the next 2 months or so. My newsletters, I at least open them up and kind of get them set up, kind of basically. I don't go in there and do all of this stuff, but I kind of get them basically set up so that I'm not starting something new. I'm retrograding them. I'm going back and fixing or polishing off or kind of putting in the pictures and the quotes and make sure all my spelling is correct and all of those kind of things. That's going to be afterwards. But I'm going to go in there to begin with and open them up and kind of get them started. All of them until Mercury's out of retrograde, full retrograde, all the way. So even though this retrograde ends on September 30th, I would even start October 1st. I wouldn't wait. I would go ahead because that October 1st one has to be dealt with in September. So I'm going to be working on that one as well. Next one, kind of the big thing is when you have, because you will, everybody will, number two is when you have problems, don't freak out or get upset. So many times people are my phone's not working or anything else. Take it calm. The more energy you're pushing at Mercury in retrograde, the more it's going to be pushing back at you. It's kind of like a fight. You're pushing energy there, it's going to be pushing energy, and when you do, then you're just asking for a fight. So when things start to go bad, I often tell my angels and guides, it's oh, that's my cue, I've got to go for a walk around the lake. Or that's my cue that it's a break time and I go get a snack and sit in front of the TV for 15 minutes or something like that. Kind of taking a break, not fighting the energy, taking a break. These are some great things to kind of keep in mind when these are happening. So kind of keeping that in mind. I will say when a miscommunication, so number three is when a miscommunication comes up, either I've sent a text message or an email or whatever it is, some type of communication that I've had with somebody, and there is a miscommunication. They thought I said 4 o'clock, but I really said 5 o'clock, or the date's not set, or whatever it is, whatever the problem is, I get to as much to face-to-face communication as I can. So if I email them, I'm going to call them. If I text message them, I'm going to call them. So if they're not right where I can, if it's not my husband and I can't walk down the hallway and say, hey, this is what I was talking about, or there's a miscommunication here, I am going to get on the phone with the person. So when I'm on the phone with them and I say, I think we're talking about two different things, or I'm kind of sensing that you're not understanding completely what I'm talking about. I can hear it in their voice. I can hear it. It's not when they kind of go, I'm aha, there's a problem. There's a miscommunication. And I'll even ask, what do you think I'm talking about? Let me explain what I'm really talking about. And laughing about it, like, okay, we're having a miscommunication. Awesome, great. Now we're both in understanding we're having a miscommunication. So then I'll say, please tell me your part of it, what you thought we were talking about. Okay, great. Now what I was really saying, or whatever it is, let me say that. So getting as close as you can to face-to-face communication is best. That is the easiest way to do it. Now, a lot of times what will happen is Mercury in retrograde, number 4, is that you will have postponements or travel plans that don't work out. Okay? So when my people travel during Mercury in retrograde, or I'm traveling during Mercury in retrograde, there's a couple of things. Pack extra snacks. Make sure you have some extra cash in your pocket, because you may have issues with the teller machine or the ATM or whatever else. So make sure that you are have an extra $15 or $20 so you can buy a drink or a water or whatever it is, and take it easy. Last time we had Mercury in retrograde, I had a client who was traveling, who doesn't really travel all that much, but she does for her family. I told her, I said, put an extra $20 bill in your wallet. And she was like, well, I normally don't travel with a lot of cash. And I was like, put an extra 20 just in there. And I said, and then think of something completely different that you can do. And I said, so you want to sit down next to somebody you would normally never talk to in a million years and strike up a conversation. And she's like, okay. She had the best time. She had the best time. She put an extra 20 in her purse. She bought herself a drink, a bottle of water. She bought a bottle of water for someone else who didn't have any money. So she was like, yay, I got to be the one who saved everybody. And so that was really fun for her. But then she purposely sat down to people that she would normally not sit next to. Like there was a mom with a child, and normally she'd be like, really don't want to. But she goes, I got to be friendly. The kid was so cute and was very playful and had lots of energy. But instead of avoiding them, I sat next to them, and I was able to help a mom kind of travel across country. That's kind of the fun part. It's one of those, like, get out of your comfort zone. That's the fun part. And so she got to communicate with this mom and kind of learn about, like, her kids are all in their 30s. So she got to learn about, like, new things. Since this child is only like a year and a half to 2 years old, she got to find out about some of the new stuff. She even got to feed the baby and burp the baby and, all that kind of stuff, and kind of play with the baby, because they sit next to each other on the plane, because she had already made friends with her waiting for the plane. If there's delays, like I said, pack an extra snack or two. Just kind of take it easy. If there is a major snafu, if there's major complications, when you have a major complication and you balance that with your frustration and this isn't working well, all it does is it keeps escalating. When you kind of go, oh, this is the problem, it de-escalates. And it keeps going down. As soon as you start calming down, as soon as you relax, okay, this is what we're dealing with for the next however many hours or overnight trip or whatever else. If you kind of make it relaxing and easy, it goes so much easier. And it also kind of really helps to not feel like your world is going topsy-turvy or whatever else. I often tell people, that's when my number 5 is, if you were traveling, make sure that your overnight bag has some clothes for you. I would say at least an extra change of underwear, extra undergarments, maybe a new shirt so you could put on with whatever you already have going on, and make things a little bit easier. Maybe like a pajama shirt or something like that. So many times that has saved me when I've had to travel during Mercury in retrograde. And so I just make sure that it's in my carry-on bag, not in the luggage underneath. Last time this helped is I flew out to Phoenix, Arizona, and my luggage went to West Virginia. They did get it to me within 24 hours. It was great, but at least I still had enough things that I could live my life and kind of brush my teeth and kind of do a few things without going oh my gosh, now I have to go shopping and buy this. So that was kind of the fun part. So when you were trying to make it through Mercury in retrograde, do it with ease, do it gently, do not fuss, fight, or anything else, and just kind of be prepared for whatever happens. Like I said, a little extra few dollars in your pocket can go a long way. It can just make things so much easier. And like I said, pack an extra snack. It's one of those, it's not going to be forever. And the quicker you bring down your energy, the quicker everything else is going to be solved. I know. So let's get our angels' insight into kind of anything else they would want us to know with this energy. And this one is literally popping up, playfulness. If you meet Mercury in retrograde with a playful attitude and some really calm, cool, collected energy, things are going to be calm, cool, and collected. When you just hit it as like, we're going, this is the energy, this is how this is working, and you don't worry about it, you don't fuss or fight or argue or anything else, it kind of just relaxes. It really just kind of takes things easy. Now, I will tell you, the sixth one that they're showing me now is on study. If there's any contracts that you're signing, make sure that you are really clear about what the contract allows for or what it doesn't allow for, any ins and outs that you may want to know about. But usually most people will tell you don't sign a contract under Mercury in retrograde. The only time I would say yes to do it is if it's bringing something to a close. If you're bringing something to a close, like you're selling off this chair and you're selling it with a contract, or this piece of property or whatever it is, as long as you're getting rid of it, your insight, then it's kind of like, yes, it's a good thing for you. The last card for us for Mercury in retrograde is manifestation. I know it sounds really crazy. It's not. So what you're really going to be manifesting in Mercury in retrograde is complications, problems, things going topsy-turvy, things going out of whack, things like getting out of sorts, that sort of thing. And when you do, it is going to be easier if you just think about, I've manifested this to teach me a lesson. What's my lesson? So I can go on with life. If you treat it like that, Mercury in retrograde is never going to get the better of you. You may have a little frustration parts, but realizing it's manifesting these so you can learn a major life lesson, so you can learn, heal, keep moving forward, and kind of letting go of things. It really is going to help you in the long run. Mercury in retrograde is never a bad thing. It's meant to teach us lessons. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.